What if I told you that about 1,000 years ago, people built something so massive and so advanced that even today we struggle to fully comprehend it? There were no machines, no industry, no modern technology, just people and their hands, and an empire obsessed with power. This is the magnificent story of the Colosseum. Rome. Even today, that name still carries immense weight. An empire so powerful that it shaped the world we live in today. And at the heart of it all stood an unforgettable structure, the Colosseum. The Colosseum, not just a building, but also a display of power, a message carved in stone. But there is something most people don't realize. The Colosseum didn't begin with grandeur. It began with fire. In AD 64, Rome burned. A massive fire destroyed a large part of the city, and many believed that an emperor of the time, Nero, was responsible. Why? Because after the fire, he built himself a golden place, almost a paradise, with lakes, forests, while the people were suffering. Then everything changed suddenly. A new emperor ascended to the throne, Vespasian, and he made a bold decision. He took Nero's private and opulent lake, drained its water, and declared, "This place now belongs to the people." And so the Colosseum was born. It was not merely an architectural structure, but also a powerful propaganda tool. To declare, Rome cannot belong to a single man. It belongs to an empire and will always remain the empire's. Construction began around 72 AD, and what they built was something hard to believe. Massive stone blocks were hauled for miles. They were lifted by wooden cranes. Thousands of workers, slaves, engineers, builders worked day and night. There were no machines, only sheer human strategy and genius. Because the real secret wasn't just strength. The real secret was the design. Arches, vaults, perfect balance. It was such an efficient system that even today we architects still use the same principle. And somehow they completed it in less than 10 years. When it opened in AD 80, the world had never seen anything like that. Up to 70,000 people, all inside a perfectly organized structure. And here's the craziest part of it functioned like a modern stadium just like today. Quick entry, numbered sections, crowd control, everything was planned. So what was happening inside? That's where things took a dark turn. The area floor was covered in sand. Why? To absorb the blood. Oh my gosh. Beneath it, a hidden boundless world, a labyrinth of tunnels, caves, and elevators. Yes, elevators. Manually operated elevators capable of bringing animals, gladiators, even entire stages into the arena in a matter of seconds. The day began with hunts. Exotic animals, lions, tigers, elephants were brought in from all corners of the world and killed for entertainment, then came to executions in full view of the public, merciless, designed and to send a message. And finally the main event, the gladiators. Some were celebs, some were comics, and some had chosen this life for themselves. They fought to survive, for honor, for freedom. The crowd just watched it all unfold. And sometimes they decided who would live and who would die. But this wasn't just entertainment, it was a tool of control, bread and circuses, to feed the people, to divert their attention, to ensure their loyalty. And yet, beyond the violence, there was something else, genius. The Colosseum was about 50 meters high, as tall as a modern 15 to 17-story building, to shade the crowd and protect them from the sun. There was a massive rectangular awning operated by soldiers, water systems, sacred chambers, perfect acoustic. This was not just a stadium, it was a machine, a colossal at that. But even empires fall, so did Rome. In the 5th century, the games finally came to an end. The Colosseum lost a purpose. It turned into a forest, a refuge, even a guardian. People literally built it stone by stone, but then they dismantled it to build other parts of the Rome. Earthquakes destroyed some sections. Nature took control. And yet, it never disappeared. Centuries later, it transformed into something new, a symbol of history, of survival, a testament to strength, a symbol of everything Rome once stood for. Today, millions of people visit this place every year. They are taking photos, they are wandering among the ruins. But most of them don't realize what's really there. Because the Colosseum was just stone, it was a memory, it was a force. It is human ambition at its peak. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear it.